So I was at the temple today, St. Peter and Paul's Church in Burr Ridge, and this woman was telling me, because we were at the glass case at the bookstore down in the basement. It's not really a bookstore, it's just a glass case. She goes, "Oh, look, First Communion." Or not First Communion, First Confession. And I said, "Excuse me?" She goes, "Yeah, I can never find cards for First Confession because they only have First Communion, but they have First Confession." And I said, "There's no such thing." She goes, "Oh, yeah, there is." And I said, "Yeah, but kids can make their confession before." I'm like, "That doesn't make any sense." I'm like, "Kids can make their confession before," because she said, "Oh, it happens at second grade." It's a little old. Uh, oh, kids can make their. I said, "But kids can make their confession before this, right?" And she goes, "Oh, no, no, they can't." And I said, "That's not orthodox. That's heresy." And I talk like this to people because I'm not afraid of orthodoxy. I'm willing to speak boldly about it. So Father Herman comes over, and I asked him. I said, we were talking. I didn't start out, challenging. I said, "Oh yeah, this and that." We talked about Archbishop Lazar, and he said, "Yeah, I've met him a couple times." I said, something strange. I see this first confession. I said, "A woman told me that." And he's like, "Yeah, that's something we do. This church is 79 years old. It used to be a Uniate church, and it came over to Orthodoxy." I don't know if Alexis Toth had anything to do with that. As far as I know, he was only in the Wilkes-Barre area of Pennsylvania. But many Uniate churches came back to Orthodoxy, and this is a hangover from that. And he's like, "Yeah, I don't really like it. I'm trying to get rid of it, but it's the parish." And again, this is a place that put in pews just a few years ago. There shouldn't be pews in an Orthodox church. I'm going to say that right now. Anybody can challenge me on it. There should not be pews in an Orthodox church. Uh, and she was saying, no, a child can't make their confession until they go to their first confession, and they have classes about it. What class? I mean, that's such a private thing. I mean, some people have spiritual fathers where they confess their sins and then they just go to the priest for basically the ritual of it. Uh, Me today, I got there late, and I was just saying the Jesus prayer as I walked up and took communion. And the Coptic priest, Father Dan, who actually called me last night. I was too ashamed to take the phone, so I'm like, I got to get there. And it wound up being the presentation of Theotokos into the temple, my most important feast day. And he said, "No, yeah, that's fine. Orthodoxy does not have the rigid rules like the Roman Catholics." And while I was talking to Father Herman, the head priest, and he said, "No," he says, "My son's 4 years old. He's gone to confession like 3 times." In against sin and confession are not the same thing as they are in the Catholic Church. Sin is missing the mark, not transgression of law. Uh, the And he said, "Yeah, I've been trying to get rid of this, but no, any child can make their confession. This first confession thing I've been trying to get rid of for years now." And then the lady snidely asked me as I was leaving, "Oh, did you talk to Father Herman about that?" And I said, "Yes." And I didn't say, "Yeah, and he said you were absolutely dead wrong." I didn't want to say that. It's church. We should be cordial with people. It's her own misunderstanding of orthodoxy, and it'll be corrected one day, God willing. But yeah, this is what disturbs me about St. Peter and Paul's, is that it used to be a Uniate church and it has this holdover from Catholicism. And no matter what people say, the Catholics told the Uniates, you can practice your liturgy and everything, and we won't interfere. But yet they keep interfering. The Latin Rite kept interfering. Again, first confession. Have you ever heard of something so ridiculous? All the sacraments happen at one time, and sin is forgiven at taking the Eucharist. And like I even talked to Father Dan afterwards. I said I came here late. Like I didn't, hear the reading of the gospel. I didn't hear the sermon, but I was saying that Jesus were on the way there, and he said, no, that if your spirit, you did it with the right intention. It's the intention of your heart. This is the exact thing that Busy Bob doesn't get. I'm not going to title this Busy Bob or any of that stuff, but I'm just thinking this is the reason why he has such a hard time. He still has this Western Protestant idea that was formed in Catholicism and then went on into um, Protestantism. And I told them, I said, I have many Catholic friends on YouTube, and I encourage them in their Roman Catholicism. I said, it's great. Keep going. I don't bash Catholics at all. You know, I don't. I love them. They're our brothers and cousins, and it grieves me that the Catholic Church has wronged the Roman Catholics so bad. But and he said, I took a course, and for 8 weeks we only studied uh, Roman Catholicism. He says this little, I forget what he says, this little irate, little angry man called Augustine introduced all these heresies. And he talked about the mistranslation of Paul, where it said, I forget the words, he was using Greek words, but basically saying that the sin is in us. And I said, well, yeah, and then it makes sin, it's sexually transmitted disease. And he goes, that's exactly right. And I told him I had a YouTube channel. Then that I was talking to, different people on there. But no, we love our Catholic brothers, and we Rome is a sea. It's out of whack with the other seas, but it is a sea. We should treat them with love and compassion. That's what I've been trying to do. But when filth arises and starts making personal attacks, starts questioning my faith, starts saying that there are these sects that started in 1054. They didn't start in 1054. If you want to actually trace the root of the evil back, it started in Rome in the third, fourth, and fifth centuries. But I don't want to get into that because it's bicker. But these things have worked its way into even the parish that I go to. And I talked to him about aerial toll houses, and well, that's how Archbishop Lazar came up, and we all love him there. And I said, I thought I was the only one speaking against toll houses, and I see this Archbishop doing it, and it really encouraged me. Father Herman, who I spoke against in the last couple videos, he's a good guy. He's trying to do his best, and you know what? I am a fallible person, so I get very angry when people don't do things the Orthodox way, or when they're, do things, kind of half-assed or try to meet people halfway. This is the Mother Church, and please come back to her. Those of you in Roman Catholicism, practice your Roman Catholicism, please. Because the problem that happened, the dissension that happened in that one video, the wacky anti-Orthodox rant, those are not people who were acting Christ-like. The only thing I said is Rome made innovations, and they did. And I got these Protestant responses of basically how I'm going to hell, and the Orthodox are these cults and everything like this, which the Roman Catholic Church, anybody high up in the Roman Catholic Church, would never, ever, ever say. So just talking to you about Sunday morning. Again, this is not what I wear to church. It's not my home parish. It is my home parish, actually, but since I didn't come into there, I always wear a tie. I always wear a white shirt, black pants, black dress shoes. Actually, I wound up wearing my steel-toe boots because I couldn't find my dress shoes. But I try to remain as respectful as I can. I don't go there saying, you got to rip out these pews and you have to do this and take down the stained glass. And no, that's not how an Orthodox person would act. But this deal with First Confession, again, when the lady asked me, oh, did you get that sorted out with Father Herman? I said, yes. What am I going to do? Say, aha, you were wrong, I was right. No, that's not the Christian way to act. And I think we have to remember this. As Orthodox Christians, we are the Mother Church, and we have to treat people. Again, first thing I was told when I went to the Orthodox Church is this is a hospital for sinners. We don't accuse people. We don't laugh at their heretical beliefs. It's supposed to be a place of nurturing and care. And that's the way we have to deal with people. And it's too bad people forget this. I mean, I even shaved off my there. You can still see my goatee. I didn't take a razor to it because I like having a goatee, but I kind of look too rough with the big. I it just I shave my face. Um, most of the times I go to an Orthodox church, I try to keep a beard to encourage others. Just like women can have their hair uncovered, that's fine. But I would encourage women to cover their hair. I would not. It's never made a requirement. As Paul states, it was for the Corinthian church. Other churches, maybe they didn't have that problem. So it's not an end-all be-all thing. If anybody is the most orthodox person, it's Paul. I mean, the heart of Paul is in the Orthodox Church. I think we need to remember this, and I think me is chief among sinners, the most guilty of this. I try never to nitpick against people. There are certain people who've left comments against my comments. This is retarded. This is that. You must be stupid. And what do? You don't react. And then when I was confronted with Busy Bob's challenge, what did I do? I said, hey, great job doing your videos. Thank you. I didn't get mean and aggravated. I did the Christian thing. And this is what irritated him the most. He says, I'm still not convinced. Well, wait, were you convinced by any of the other Christian arguments? Of course not. You're an atheist. The thing that the reason why he was so distraught and why his argument was destroyed is because I answered him as an Eastern Orthodox Christian, and it took the wind right out of his sails because he knew nothing about Eastern Orthodoxy. Yet he's issuing a claim to Christians. He's one of these people who says, well, there's Christianity, and then there's Roman Catholicism, as if Roman Catholicism isn't Christianity. And I think all the attacks on me being anti-Catholic, I believe these people meditate on what they have said, will come to the conclusion that it's wrong. And even if they don't ask for forgiveness from me, I forgive them. I actually feel bad for them. Just like the woman who thought she won. Oh no, the child can't go to his confession before second grade, as if the grade in America means anything. Again, we must remember we are Christian. We must follow the heart that has been given to us. The natural heart, the one that we were born with before it got corrupted. And if we were born with a corrupted heart, sociopathic, psychotic, or whatever, the Holy Spirit will cleanse that. And that's the true heart. And yes, Jeremiah said the heart of man is wicked. Okay. We also have to see that in context. When I mean the heart, I mean the spiritual heart. Because obviously the engine, the motor, the pump that pushes blood through our body is not the heart that I'm talking about. So first, confession, yeah, that's a Roman Catholic uniate thing held over. Do I leave St. Peter and Paul and go to a different diocese or different parish? Absolutely not. That's the parish I should go to. I started going to it. I don't like the way the church is laid out. I don't like the fact that it has pews. I don't like the deacon. Father Herman, I think, is weak. I love Father Dan, the Coptic priest, but those are my people now. And I think when people start church hopping, when they start trying to find an Orthodox church is right for them, no, the Orthodox thing to do is to go to a church nearest to you. That's your parish. I tried doing that, St. Athanasios, and repeatedly I was told I'm not welcome there because I'm not Greek. Did you marry a Greek woman? I mean, the first time I went to St. Athanasios, I was Roman Catholic, but I had just joined a charismatic evangelical Anglican church. And I asked Father Peter, I said, but I've read the church fathers, I know I've read Gregory Plamos, John Capasilas, you know, the Orthodox Church is the mother church. I want to be part of that. And he said, well, it's all the same. What were you, Lutheran or Anglican? Go back to that. It's the same. This is for the Greeks. Not welcome there. Shake the dust from my feet. I will go to a different church. St. Peter and Paul's is in Burr Ridge. It's an hour drive away. I'm so glad I went back there, especially on this feast day of the Theotokos in the temple. And we need to remember this. I think I mentioned Nymphredick's name in the arguing, and I thought he was part of it. He got very angry at me. He's still waiting. And even when he said about John the Baptist and Jesus being cousins, and that I was, this was a blasphemy that I said they couldn't be, and that I simply put, I repent. Because I don't want to argue about something like that with him. And then he still demands an answer. So I'll make a video series on that about how, as an Orthodox Christian, I can believe in the documentary hypothesis. I can question the motives of David. I can believe Judas was not Judas Iscariot, but Judas Sicarios. When people get down to arguing theology or arguing points, uh, they wind up missing, what is that, not seeing the forest through the trees or something like that. And I think we all need to remember this, and me especially. I'll end with this. Peace to you, or as the Serbians do, peace to you. And I hope everybody has a great day.